Have you ever stopped to think that your salary can be much more than just a number deposited into your account every month? Many people see salary as a limit, something that defines how far they can go financially. But that's the wrong way to view things. Your salary isn't a ceiling. It's a powerful tool capable of building a better future for you. Imagine a bricklayer who receives a truckload of bricks. He could look at it and think, "This is all I have. I need to make these bricks last as long as possible." But a smart bricklayer goes beyond that. He sees the bricks as raw materials to build something bigger. If he knows how to use them strategically, he can build a house worth much more than the bricks themselves. The same goes for your salary. It shouldn't just be spent, it should be transformed into something bigger. Many people spend their whole lives exchanging time for money and never manage to move forward. The problem isn't how much they earn, but how they view that money. If you always think, "I work to earn and pay bills," then there will never be anything left. But if you change your mindset to, "My salary is a way to create new opportunities," then things start to change. The first practical step is simple. Every time you get paid, ask yourself, "What can I do with this money to improve my life in the future?" This means setting aside a portion to invest, learn new skills, or even create an additional source of income. Just like a farmer doesn't eat all the seeds, but plants some to harvest more in the future, you need to think of your money as seeds that can multiply your wealth. If you want to be wealthy one day, you need to start seeing your salary as a tool for growth, not a limit. Now that you've changed your mindset about your salary, it's time to talk about one of the biggest mistakes that prevent people from getting rich: spending everything they earn, or worse, spending more than they earn. Many people have the following thought: "When my salary increases, then I'll be able to save money." But this is a big trap. Have you noticed that every time a person gets a raise, their spending increases too? What was once unnecessary suddenly becomes essential. If they were fine with a simple phone, they now feel the need for a more expensive model. If they used to have lunch at home, now they think they deserve to eat out every day. This creates an endless cycle where no matter how much you earn, the bills always catch up at the end of the month. Imagine a bucket with a hole in the bottom. It doesn't matter how much water you pour in. If the hole is still there, it will never fill up. The same happens with money. If you always spend everything, you'll never have reserves to grow financially. The solution: set a sustainable lifestyle standard below your income. This doesn't mean you have to deprive yourself of everything, but you should create a lifestyle that allows you to have money left over every month. Ask yourself, do I really need to spend everything I earn? Am I buying things because I need them or just because I can? The key to financial freedom is simple. The more you spend, the more tied to your salary you become. The less you spend, the freer you become. The secret of the wealthy isn't that they earn fortunes. It's that they maintain a lifestyle lower than what they could have and invest the difference. This means that when your salary increases, instead of spending more, you can use that money to create new opportunities. After all, what good is a higher salary if you still run out of money at the end of the month? The next step is learning to manage well what you already earn, and that's what we'll talk about in the next topic. Now that you understand the importance of not spending everything you earn, it's time to talk about something essential: knowing exactly where your money is going. Many people believe that the lack of money comes from earning too little, but most of the time, the problem lies in how that money is managed. Think of a boat with a hole in it. No matter how fast someone rows, if water keeps coming in, the boat will sink. The same goes for your finances. If you don't know where your money is going, no matter how much you earn, it will always disappear before the end of the month. The first thing you need to do is create a monthly budget. Many people think this is complicated, but in reality, it's something very simple. A budget is nothing more than a plan where you define how much of your money will go to each area of your life. This way, you avoid unpleasant surprises and ensure that you will always have money for what really matters. The secret to making a good budget is to divide your salary into different categories. Think of your money as if it were a cake. If you simply cut random pieces and distribute them without control, you might end up running out of money for the most important parts. But if you divide it correctly from the beginning, ensuring that each slice is used well, you'll never run out of anything. The basic division of your budget can be made as follows. 50% for basic needs. This includes expenses like rent, utility, bills, groceries, and transportation. These are the expenses that ensure your survival and should always be prioritized. 30% for leisure and quality of life. This includes expenses that make your life more comfortable, like going out to dinner, traveling, and entertainment. Many people make the mistake of putting these expenses ahead of needs and investments. 20% for investments and financial reserves. This is the money that will actually work for you in the future. It will be used to build wealth and ensure financial security. The most important thing to understand is that these percentages can be adjusted according to your reality. If you earn little and your basic expenses take up more than 50% of your income, you may need to cut back a bit on leisure expenses. On the other hand, if you can live well by spending less, you can increase the percentage allocated to investments. The key is always to ensure that part of your salary is directed toward your financial growth. Another key point in managing money is to avoid impulsive spending. Often, we buy things in the heat of the moment without really needing them. After a few weeks, that item that seemed indispensable no longer matters, and the money spent is gone forever. Before making any purchase, ask yourself, do I really need this? If I don't buy it now, will my life be affected in any way? Could this money be better used for something more important? If the answer is no, it might be better to hold back the impulse and save that money for something more valuable. Good financial management doesn't mean giving up everything and living with the bare minimum. On the contrary, it means using your money wisely, ensuring that it works for you and not against you. In the next section, we'll talk about a concept that can completely transform your finances: paying yourself first. This simple habit change could be the key to your financial independence. If there's one habit that separates financially successful people from those who are always struggling, it's this: paying yourself first. But what does this mean? Most people receive their paycheck and immediately start paying bills, spending on leisure, and covering day-to-day expenses. Only if something is left over do they think about saving money. The problem is that, in most cases, nothing is left over. This creates a vicious cycle where money comes in, goes out, and disappears before the end of the month, leaving the person always dependent on the next paycheck. Now, imagine a farmer who plants seeds in his field. If he consumes all the seeds he harvested without saving any for the next season, what will happen? He will never have a bigger harvest, will never see his field grow, and will be trapped in a cycle of scarcity. The same thing happens with your money. If you spend everything you earn without reserving part of it for your future, you will never build a solid financial foundation. Paying yourself first means that before paying bills, spending on leisure, or anything else, you set aside part of your salary for investments and financial reserves. This money should be treated as a non-negotiable expense. The best way to ensure this happens is to automate your savings. If you rely on your willpower to remember to save money every month, you may eventually fail. But if you set up a system where a portion of your salary is automatically transferred to a separate account, you eliminate that risk. The amount you should set aside depends on your financial reality, but a good rule is to start with at least 10% of what you earn. If you can save more, great. If you can't reach that percentage yet, start with 5% and gradually increase it. The important thing is to create the habit. This money can be allocated to different goals, such as emergency fund, a safety net to cover unexpected events like health issues, home repairs, or job loss. Ideally, you should have at least 6 months' worth of living expenses saved up. Investments, financial investments that make your money grow over time. It can be fixed income, stocks, real estate funds, or any other asset that generates returns. Future projects. This could be buying a property, starting a business, or any other financial goal that requires initial capital. Many people think that investing is something only possible when you have a lot of money, but that's not true. Today, it's possible to start with small amounts, and the most important thing is not the initial value, but the consistency. Those who invest regularly, even if it's a small amount, build solid wealth over time. If you change this one habit, paying yourself, first, your relationship with money will never be the same. You will stop being someone who just works to pay bills and become someone who builds wealth in an intelligent way. In the next section, we will talk about one of the biggest enemies of financial freedom: unnecessary debt. It might seem harmless at first, but when mismanaged, it traps people in a cycle of dependence on their salary. Debt can be like financial quicksand. At first, it seems small, easy to manage. You buy something in installments, take out a small loan, or use your credit card without much thought, but gradually, the interest starts to accumulate. And before you know it, a large part of your salary is going just to pay bills and cover what was already spent. Many people believe that debt is normal, something inevitable. But do we really need it? Is it necessary to split everything into installments or borrow money to buy what we want? The truth is that most of the debts people incur are not out of necessity, but from impulse and lack of financial planning. The big problem with debt is that it compromises your future. When you go into debt, you're basically spending money you haven't earned yet. This creates a cycle where you only work to pay for what you've already consumed without being able to move forward financially. To avoid falling into this trap, follow some fundamental rules. Avoid high interest rates. The biggest villain of unnecessary debt is exorbitant interest rates. Credit cards and overdrafts, for example, charge ridiculously high fees. Often, a small debt can double in value within a few months, if not paid off quickly. The secret is to never spend more than you can afford, and avoid resorting to these options. As much as possible, avoid long-term installments. Many stores offer installment payments without interest, which might seem like an advantage. But is it really worth it? The more you get used to splitting purchases, the more you commit your future income. This creates the illusion that you're spending little, when in reality, you're just dividing a sum you could have paid in full with a bit more planning. Always prefer to pay in full. When possible, try to save up before making a large purchase. This prevents you from getting trapped in installments and may even offer advantages. Many stores offer discounts for cash payments, and you can negotiate better prices. Additionally, paying with your own money brings a different feeling. You value what you bought more because you know the effort you made to get it. Don't go into debt to buy unnecessary things. A good question to ask yourself before buying something on credit is, do I really need this right now? If the answer is no, it might be better to wait a little longer and save up to make the purchase in the future. Debts should be avoided as much as possible, especially when they involve non-essential items. Use credit wisely. If you absolutely need to go into debt, for example, for an investment that will bring a return in the future, choose options with the lowest possible interest rates. Loans for starting a business, studying, or buying property can be strategic if they are well planned and fit into your budget. The problem arises when you incur debt to buy things that don't generate any return. Avoiding unnecessary debt doesn't mean you can never buy what you want, but rather that you will do so consciously without compromising your financial stability. The less debt you have, the more freedom you'll have to decide how to use your money and build a solid financial future. In the next section, we will talk about how to increase your income, as earning more money can be a great ally in your journey towards financial independence. Earning more money may seem out of your control, but the truth is, there are several ways to increase your income, from investing in skill development to negotiating a raise in your current job. The secret is not to sit back waiting for things to happen, but to actively seek out growth opportunities. Many people believe that the salary they earn is final, as if it's an unchangeable rule, but the reality is that in most cases it can be improved with strategy and effort. Those who understand this get ahead and start building a more solid path toward financial independence. Here are some practical ways to increase your income. Invest in training. Knowledge is one of the most valuable assets you can have. The more skills and experience you acquire, the more valuable you become in the job market. This can translate into promotions, better opportunities, or even the possibility of switching to a more lucrative field. If you work for a company, look for courses that can make you a more qualified professional. If you are self-employed, refine your skills to offer higher value services. If you have a low-paying job, consider studying a new field that offers better opportunities. Continuous learning is an investment that can bring huge financial returns over time. Become indispensable at your job. The best way to get a raise or promotion within a company is to become an employee who delivers results. Companies value people who bring solutions, take on responsibilities, and make a difference in the workplace. Go above and beyond expectations. Look for solutions to problems no one else is addressing. Always be willing to learn and adapt. If the company realizes that losing you would be a significant setback, your chances of a salary increase or professional growth will be much higher. Negotiate your salary wisely. Many people stay in a job for years without ever asking for a raise, simply because they are afraid of hearing no, or because they think it should come from the company. But in reality, negotiating a raise is part of professional life. If you are delivering good results, there is no problem in talking to your boss and presenting concrete reasons for a salary adjustment. Before doing this, follow some strategies. Research the average salary for your position in the market. Clearly show how your performance has positively impacted the company. Choose the right moment for the conversation, preferably after a period of good results. Negotiating a raise doesn't mean demanding something without justification, but rather demonstrating your value and seeking a fair salary for the work you deliver. Consider new sources of income. If your current job doesn't allow for a significant salary increase, it might be worth thinking about alternatives to supplement your income. Some options include freelancing or side services. If you have skills that can be sold as a service, you can start working with clients independently. This applies to fields like design, writing, programming, photography, consulting, and more. Product sales. You can resell third-party products or even create your own products to sell online or in person. Digital businesses. The digital market offers various opportunities, such as creating online courses, blogs, e-commerce, and other ways to make money online. Evaluate opportunities at other companies. If the company you work for doesn't value your effort and doesn't offer growth opportunities, it might be time to look for new opportunities in the market. Often, changing jobs can result in a significant salary increase. For this, it's crucial to keep your resume updated, build a good network, and always be on the lookout for positions that could be more beneficial. Earning more money requires action. If you want to increase your income, you need to be willing to invest in yourself, look for opportunities, and step out of your comfort zone. With strategy and effort, it's possible to grow financially and accelerate your path to financial independence. In the next section, we'll talk about how to turn part of your salary into investments, an essential step to making your money work for you. Now take a moment and reflect. How have you been using your salary so far? Has it only been a means to pay bills and wait for the next month? Or have you been using part of it to build something bigger? What we've discussed here is not just about money, but about choices. Small daily decisions can determine where you'll be financially in the coming years. If this video made sense to you, imagine how many people around you also need to hear this. Share it with friends, family, co-workers, or anyone who is looking for a way out of the cycle of just surviving financially. And of course, if you want to keep learning more about transforming your financial life, give a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. See you in the next video.